Did you know that anteaters can consume up to 30,000 ants and termites in a single day? Pretty incredible, right? But it's not the only fascinating fact about them. Allow me to share a remarkable story about these exceptional creatures. One night, a leopard was prowling through the darkness in search of food and suddenly caught sight of a giant anteater peacefully asleep. With its eyes gleaming in the darkness, the leopard thought it had stumbled upon an effortless meal and stealthily crept closer. However, the anteater, sensing the danger, swiftly prepared to defend itself, catching the leopard off guard with its unexpected strength. As the anteater fought back with its long, sharp claws, the leopard tried its best to dodge the attacks. The anteater's impressive defense surprised the leopard so much that it decided to leave, almost as if it never came there to hunt in the first place. Now, let's dive into the fascinating world of these special mammals that are capable of scaring away big predators. This group of animals includes some interesting types, like the giant anteater, the small and agile silky anteater, and the Tamanduas. Each type has its own special way of living, but what they all share is a love for eating ants and termites, which is how they got their name, anteater. The word Tamandua comes from the Tupi language and means ant hunter, which is quite fitting. Tamanduas are famous for their unique posture, known as the T posture. When threatened or cornered by predators, Tamanduas will stand on their hind legs, raise their front legs, and spread them wide, forming a T shape with their body. This pose makes them seem bigger and might scare off the animals that want to harm them. It's a clever trick to protect themselves without having to fight. Tamanduas belong to the Pelosa order, along with other laid-back creatures like sloths. These creatures have a particular taste in food and boast unique physical traits. For instance, Tamanduas have impressively long, adhesive tongues, perfect for slurping up ants and termites. There are two main kinds of Tamanduas: the northern Tamandua, Tamandua mexicana, and the southern Tamandua, Tamandua tetradactyla. And both have a tail they can use like an extra hand to grab or hold on to things, making it easier for them to live in trees and on the ground. Southern Tamanduas exhibit a wide range of sizes, ranging from a mere 2 to 3 feet, with their tails contributing an additional 1 to 2 feet. They can weigh anywhere from 6 to 20 pounds. That's 2.7 to 9 kilograms. Their adorable fur comes in shades of blonde, tan, or brown, and some boast striking black patterns extending from their shoulders to their backside. Then there's the northern Tamandua, noticeable for its black V marking on its back that looks like a vest. Interestingly, they have developed a peculiar walking technique, using the sides of their feet to avoid injuring themselves with their claws. Aren't they charming and delightful? Considering welcoming a cute and endearing Tamandua into your home? Wait a second, it's not just about cuddling and having fun. Taking care of an anteater is a big deal. It takes a lot of time, space, and yes, it will cost you quite a bit of money. It's best to get one that's young and has been gently raised by experts, as it really makes a big difference. Tamanduas aren't the kind of pets that just sit around. They need lots of space to walk about, things to climb, and their home needs to be kept warm, but not too hot or too cold, ideally between 65 and 85 degrees. If it gets too hot or too cold, it won't be good. And if they get scared, they can let out a smell that will remind you of the time you ran into a skunk. They also like to mark their territory by spraying a scent around. Since Tamanduas naturally dig into termite mounds in the wild, they have a habit of tearing things up at home. That means your furniture and decorations could get destroyed. So watch out! If you want a Tamandua as a pet, you'll need to make a special place for them where they can do their thing without ruining your house and keep the temperature just right. They like to be alone, so having other pets might cause problems. And if you're already super busy or have kids to take care of, a Tamandua's demands might be too much. However, if you have the space, the time, and you're prepared for a cuddly yet demanding friend, then you might be the ideal person to care for a Tamandua. Giant anteaters are primarily nocturnal, meaning they're most active during the night. This behavior helps them avoid the heat of the day and potential predators while maximizing their foraging opportunities. On average, giant anteaters measure around 6 to 8 feet. That's 1.8 to 2.4 meters in length from the tip of their snout to the base of their tail. Their long, bushy tails add to their overall length, typically measuring around 2 to 3 feet, 0.6 to 0.9 meters. When including the tail, the total length of a giant anteater typically ranges from about 8 to 11 feet. That's 2.4 to 3.4 meters. That's almost as big as a leopard. They have an accurate sense of smell, which they use to locate ant and termite colonies. Their long tubular snout contains sensory receptors that detect chemical cues emitted by their prey, allowing them to pinpoint the location of insect nests with precision. Giant anteaters have large, powerful claws on their forelimbs, which they use to tear open insect nests and defend themselves against predators. These claws are adapted for digging and ripping apart termite mounds and anthills, making them highly effective hunters. The distinctive coloration and pattern of a giant anteater's fur provide effective camouflage in their natural habitat, making them less visible to predators and allowing them to blend in with their surroundings. Since anteaters lack teeth, they rely on suction to ingest their food, much like a vacuum cleaner. In the wild, anteaters often consume ants and termites directly from their nests, which may contain some dirt or soil along with the insects. This is a natural part of their foraging behavior, and their digestive systems are adapted to handle it. Anteaters have specialized digestive systems that are well suited to processing their insect prey, including any incidental dirt or debris that may be ingested. Anteaters rely on their incredible claws as multi-purpose tools for digging into ant and termite homes with precision. These claws are essential for accessing their food sources buried within anthills and termite mounds. But there's more to these claws than just digging. They have another fascinating feature worth mentioning. Anteaters have fur patterns to help them stay hidden from danger or warn off enemies. For example, the giant anteater has a big stripe that's like saying, "Don't mess with me," to any animal that might want to start trouble. But looking sharp isn't their only game. When things get tough, anteaters have a special move. Like if a predator such as the leopard tries to attack, an anteater stands on its back legs and shows its claws, signaling it is ready to fight back. These claws have been sharpened by all the digging they do for food and can really hurt a predator that tries to come close. With a giant anteater's size and these dangerous claws, they earn a lot of respect from other animals, even among top predators. If anteaters are trapped, they can fight off attackers with a strength that might surprise you. There have been rare cases where people have gotten hurt by an anteater defending itself. In Brazil's thick forests and wide open fields, there are intense stories about giant anteaters fighting back against hunters. For example, there was this 47-year-old man who thought he could take on an anteater with just a knife, but ended up being killed by the animal's sharp claws. In another case, a 75-year-old man died after an anteater cut his thigh arteries, showing us how unexpected and risky it can be to come across wild animals. Again, from Argentina, there is a sad story that happened at Florencio Varela Zoo, where Melissa Casco, who was a young zookeeper who loved animals and wanted to keep them safe, lost her life after being attacked by a giant anteater. This occurrence really raises questions about the complexity involved in people interacting with wild animals, even in places like zoos designed to save endangered species. Although anteaters are sometimes kept as pets at home, they're known to be Tamanduas, or the lesser anteaters. They usually live for about 7 years, but it's not rare for them to reach their teenage years. The longest a Tamandua has ever lived, as far as we know, was one that stayed in a zoo or something similar. It reached an impressive age of 25 years. Unfortunately, the giant anteaters, living from Honduras all the way down to northern Argentina, are facing a tough time. Their numbers are down to about 5,000, making them vulnerable on the IUCN Red List, which means they're at risk of becoming endangered. They're threatened by things like losing their homes, getting hit by cars, being hunted, wildfires, and attacked by wild dogs. All these issues add up, making their numbers go down and making it clear to those who want to protect them that they need a lot of help. Despite all these challenges, there is a plan to help the giant anteater survive. People are working hard to save them by creating safe places like sanctuaries and wildlife corridors, giving them a chance to live safely as humans move closer. Researchers are trying to learn as much as they can about these animals to come up with ways to keep them safe in the future. Beyond the scientists, there's a push to make everyone aware of how important giant anteaters are to nature and how sad it would be to lose them. For a better understanding of what makes anteaters unique, it's appropriate to consider their activities, feeding patterns, and ecological functions. These creatures must be protected together with their habitats so they can go on doing whatever it is they do. When we try to protect the anteaters, we ensure that such wonderful creatures are not forgotten even when our kids and grandchildren grow up. This way, they stay a part of the wonderful world of animals we have on Earth. It's like keeping a piece of natural beauty alive for everyone to enjoy.